We're losing
Okay.
it.
So we're doing, if you listened last week, you'll know that I had audio issues. Or if Kelly edited it so well, you won't know, but you'll have heard me comment on it.
Yep. Cassie's computer's
I
actually
think my
possessed,
computer
though,
might be
so.
possessed. So far, it hasn't dropped on this, but it totally changed its mind about what like microphone I was using for for our Facebook call. Because we talk to each other over Facebook. Well, we'll see. If you don't hear from me again, it's because I have some otherworldly being inhabiting my body, and so be it. Finally, you know, it'll be fine.
Anyways.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Oddities. I'm Kelly.
I'm Cassie, or am I? Welcome back to Strange Town. I was gonna say Strange Tane. Strange Tane. Go on without me.
All of our stuff is linked down below, or you can just go to our website and see everything linked there. Ba-dum-bum. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic. We love it. Hey, thank you so much for helping us reach 100,000 downloads. You guys are amazing. Yes. We love you. By now, our giveaway is over, but we're going to talk about it because we're excited anyways. We had a giveaway. It was great. We have new merch.
Check it.
It's mootastic.
Yeah, it's mootastic. It captures the essence of our prattling. So and intolerable existences. Yeah, so it's feels good to be this intolerable.
It does. Yeah. It takes special talent to be this
intolerable. Does. So much so I almost said intolerable. So So everybody's aware, if you didn't listen last week, this is the 4th episode in a row that we're recording because we're trying to give ourselves just an ounce of time off at the end of the year. And
it'll literally be just an ounce.
Just an ounce. It'll be like 1 week. But so this should be really, if we thought last episode was on the fringes of chaos, I think we fully entered into it. So.
Yeah. Full chaos. Full chaos. How's my bestie? With the full chaos.
I'm surviving. So last week.
Surviving and thriving.
I don't know if I'd call us thriving, but we're definitely surviving. I last week covered my fun plans for today. Forgot to mention tomorrow, aka last Sunday, by the time this comes out, I think. We're taking a trip to Hallmark and we're getting the next ornaments. We each have a collection that we build upon every year.
Aww.
And we're going to Michael's where we will inevitably spend more money than intended, getting even more Christmas shit than we already have.
Get the app, get a coupon.
Oh, girl, I already have it.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, and right. So I have a story. Gather near, kids, because it's the holidays. I have a fun story that I shared on our Patreon, but that Kelly suggested I share here because
it's just so good.
If it's not, it just really captures the essence of the household that I grew up in. Also, just me as a whole, and so I think you might enjoy it. So everybody, gather near. Imagine we're sitting around a cozy fire as I tell you this tale. So early in my life, I spent a few years living in California. Not alone. I was with my parents, and my brother, my family. I was from the years that I was 3 to 7. I lived in California, and my family notoriously goes all out for the holidays. Any holiday, we decorate for it. And Christmas, yeah, right. Christmas is no exception. We go hard on the lights. It is what it is. And so one year, when we lived in California, we went perhaps a little too hard. Because the way that our house was...
Is that a thing?
What's that?
Is that a thing to go too hard?
I don't know.
In this case,
maybe. So we put out the lights. And we've made the discovery. So one night, we were all sitting around. We were playing Clue together. It was family game night. Isn't that picturesque and whatever?
I love that you remember what game you were
It
playing.
happens to be my favorite board game, if you didn't know that about me.
Mine too.
I love it. Anyway, we were playing Clue. I had to go to the bathroom. So I get up and I walk down the hallway to our downstairs bathroom. And on the way to the bathroom, I hear yelling from the kitchen, not registering what it is they're saying. I shut the door and I go to turn on the lights to use the bathroom. And all of the power in the house blew. And so for that entire... And then I start shrieking because I was in the dark. And I was like 5 or whatever, 4, I don't know how old I was. But anyway, for that entire Christmas season, you could not turn on the lights in the downstairs bathroom because the whole house would be in darkness. We'd have to reset all the shit.
Fuses. Blown.
And if that's not the most Passarella Christmas thing, I don't know what is. I mean, that is...
I just love this for your family so
it just
much.
really fits us. Like, that is like the... I mean... And you have to know that probably what my parents and brother were shouting at me, because we all have such colorful language, it was probably, quote, "Don't turn on the fucking lights." Don't turn...
Because y'all are Italian, and this is how you show love.
It's what we do. It's what we do. And so don't turn on the fucking lights. So anyway, that was my childhood. Christmas memory, one of my favorites. I love it. And so, yeah, so from that point on, and I do recall this, we used to bring a candle to the bathroom with us. Which is like...
I'm picturing a plate with a candle on it.
It's like a very, like a Christmas Carol moment. Like very, like, ye olde. Yeah. No, so we would pee by candlelight. What can I say?
Oh, God, I love that.
Yeah, I love it. It just added a little je ne sais quoi, you know? Just a little zhuzh.
I'm so glad I reminded you, because it's so much better the second time.
Thank you. I think the thing, like, you really have to know my family to, like, appreciate the richness of that story. Although I think the listeners have probably heard enough at this point to get, like, a sense.
To know your
So hopefully
family.
that sat well with everybody. But anyway.
Also, your dad's been on the show. Both
my parents have been on the show. That's right.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, like, they know.
They get the sense. They loved my parents on the show. there was much.
I just love
much support. I just love my parents too. Thank you.
What? I'm gonna share a fun little fact here. Okay, the first time I was ever meeting Cassie's parents, I was like, make a good impression. Don't cuss in front of Cassie's parents.
I know. And then we had dinner, and our entire...
It didn't fucking matter.
It didn't fucking matter. Our entire conversation was one long string of curse words. So, if anything, that just demonstrates that we're all very intelligent. That's like a thing,
actually,
right?
Let me just paint a beautiful picture for y'all. I met Cassie's father while he was wearing this beautiful apron.
Oh, Cassie's bitch. We have an apron that says Cassie's bitch because so my Sweet 16... I'll have you know this wasn't my idea. So I had a Sweet 16 party.
Oh, but it's such a great freaking apron.
And the fact that we still have it so many
beautiful.
Years later.
Yes. I love he wears it proudly.
He does. He loves that apron. It's a good apron. So I had a Sweet 16. All of my family members who were there, quote, working the party, you know, like my parents were over by the food. And like my brother and his fiance at the time, now his wife, they were working the, quote, bar. It was, you know, sodas and stuff. But everybody got an apron that said Cassie's bitch. And it wasn't even my it wasn't even my idea. Like they just like had them made, and they were like, "Hey, look what we had made."
If that's not such a Passarella thing, though, too.
I love the support. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was Dad's. To be clear, he had clothing on under the apron. This wasn't like a nudist moment, but yeah.
No, this was not a nudist moment, but it was just very. Everyone needs to.
And then we sat down to a big meal of Mom's meatballs, and it was one long continuous stream of curse words. That's how we roll.
It's fantastic.
So here we be. That's the Passarella family. But Bestie, what have you saved to talk about for this week?
Not a damn thing.
Oh, you gave me shit on last episode, and then your ass didn't save anything.
Well, you know what's funny? I realized not a lot happened this week.
I mean, not a lot happened, but also so much happened. Like, this was a bullshit week.
Yeah. It was a bullshit week. I haven't been sleeping much. My kids got sick again.
So we're all just hanging on by a thread. We're all, yes, great.
Yeah,
As you can hear.
You know what like actually does amaze me though? Every time my kiddo gets sick, I'm like, here's the beauty of homeschool. You don't have to do your work if you're feeling sick, bud. No, wants to do his schoolwork. He is so
I'm
I
glad
don't
he's
know where
liking
he gets
learning.
this from. He loves he thrives off of
That's
it.
great.
He
That's my
and like
boy.
I think a big part of it was the entire week of Thanksgiving they had off of
Yeah.
school. And like I still worked on his reading and his sight words and everything cuz like I didn't want to lose that, brain power and all that stuff. And he also wanted to be working on it. But like he really missed seeing his friends cuz like they have online like their live classes and whatnot. Um he didn't want to miss that, and he really wanted to do his math, and he really wanted to do his science and his social studies, like, and so like we took it much slower than we usually do it. It was like pulled out through the whole day. But I'm amazed because you could tell he doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
But he wants to keep doing it. It's really, I'm proud of him. I'm so proud of him.
I'm proud of
Such
him
a good kid.
too. He is, well, of course he's a good kid. You done
Yeah,
good
but
so far.
yeah. The other one is so excited to be like he keeps doing stuff and he classifies it as being all grown up. And he's like, "Okay, I'm ready to be in school like."
He's like, TikTok, bitch. Oh, all right, delete that.
Yep. Well, beep.
Yeah, boop it out. That's fine. We've done it before. I love that though.
But he's so excited to be in school too, and like, so next year will be interesting because I'll be doing this for both of them. So we'll see how
No
that goes.
sweat.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess I did have stuff to say, but it's just I feel like this whole week is fuck, I do have something. I didn't even say it in the last episode, and I probably should have said it on the last episode. So I guess I'll say this one.
Uh-oh.
I just celebrated 10 years with my husband.
Yes,
So that was
happy
fun.
anniversary.
Thank you for my sweet post on Facebook
Oh, but a
and
cuervo, but a
Instagram.
cuervo.
So
I'm sorry I didn't
kind.
realize what day it was until, I mean, I knew what day your anniversary
It's been
was.
a shit week.
I literally didn't know the date because I literally sent you in a message. I was like, it's December. And then I like went and it triggered. I was like, we hit December. We made it. Oh my God. So happy anniversary. Did you guys have any, like, are you doing anything this weekend?
Not this weekend, but next weekend. We didn't have anyone to watch the kids, but also the kids were just sick this week, so we weren't going to do anything. What we did last night was, so for our wedding, I have this to share. For the night of our wedding, at the reception, we had New York strip steaks.
Yum.
But I couldn't eat them.
Right.
I could not eat the food that was put in front of me because the fucking place didn't listen. I'm allergic to mushrooms.
Yeah. And it was just Mushroom City.
And they didn't listen, and they smothered the shit in mushrooms.
So many mushrooms.
So I literally couldn't eat my steak. It was covered in mushrooms. And it wasn't just like mushrooms. It was like a mushroom sauce. So I couldn't.
So it's just like mushroomception.
I'm not going to eat something that I'm allergic to on my wedding night.
I mean, no.
I was so upset. And the worst part was they wouldn't fucking take my plate away. They just left it there, and I kept saying, "Can you please take it away?" They're like, "Oh, you're the bride. You need to eat something." And I was like, I can't fucking eat it. And honestly, I'm not going to trust anything you bring out to me right now.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
So I didn't even get to eat the steak. Michael said it was delicious.
Oh my God, I believe it. I mean, it sounds delicious, but
because I told him, I said, "You better eat." And he's like, "I don't want to eat in front of you." I was like, "You better fucking eat it. I want to see what it looks like."
Fucking paying for this shit. You fucking eat that shit. Yeah.
So last night, we tend to always have steak on our anniversary as like that kind of.
It's like tradish. Cool.
Yeah. Or Italian, but last night we had a New York steak strip. Michael picked something up from the butcher. He cooked it up. It was delish.
Love it.
So good.
Love it.
And we watched the UK version of Ghosts, and it was hilarious.
Oh, was it?
It was so good.
Speaking of UK, we recently watched, Great British Baking Show. They had like a celebrity holiday special. It was absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh, okay. Everything UK is hilarious.
British people.
Better in the
UK. I know. It's like such a dry humor. I'm a big fan.
It's so good. So
big fan.
That's what we did for the anniversary. It was
that sounds nice. What are you doing? What are you doing next weekend, or do you know, or not yet?
So we're planning on getting some good Italian next weekend, and
Yum.
I want to go to our favorite antique thrift shop.
Fun.
Yes. And
Cool.
hopefully find some good, like, it's called Fishy Finds, and that place is literally just filled. Like, it's like everything's thrown in there, so you have to, like, really hunt. Go ask daddy. Somebody's knocking at the
That's
door.
right.
So, it's chaos. It's literally chaos. The aisles are this big. You gotta, like, walk carefully. We have found some of the coolest things in that place. I love it.
That's
Can't wait.
awesome. That's
So,
awesome. Well, you have to let us know if you find anything cool.
yeah.
You know that
The
shit in there's haunted.
the last time we were there, we found this trunk and we opened it and it was I mean, to the top. And I'm hoping it might still be full because I want to go through it again with vintage Life magazines.
Cool.
And
That's neat.
we got a Marilyn Monroe cover magazine, a
Nice.
one that was like when the flu started an outbreak, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like this was during COVID that we found this, and we were like
So
that's
that's
kind of
like a good
ironic, so
laugh.
we got it.
Yeah.
The other one was like when the Vietnam War was starting,
Mm.
and the other one was when Martin Luther King's wife on the cover
Oh,
during
very
his
cool.
funeral, and
Oh,
it was just like this is
nice
such a
pieces of
cool piece of
history.
history. And we got them, and we're actually planning on framing them and putting them in our house. We just have them
Yeah.
in a nice cover right now, but we want to go back and like search through more. So I'm hoping
That's
they're still there.
awesome. I love that. I
So
hope
yeah,
so too. Let us know what you find. Again,
yeah.
though, like I said, everything's haunted in there. Guarantee
Oh,
it.
totally.
All the ghosts
Yeah,
just
guarantee
hanging
it.
out.
I'm gonna send you
Um,
pictures of this chaotic place. But anyways, we are at
please.
16 minutes.
So we made up for our shortcoming last week. So,
Yeah,
surprise,
I
bitches.
don't know how we fucking did that, but anyways,
I bet
I'm
you
gonna have to
thought you
cut
heard
some
The
stuff
Last
out
of
there.
Us.
But
That's right. Proud of us. I went first last time around, and I
yeah,
remember this because I have a lucid mind today,
and we just did it. So
and we just did it. But you know what? There have been many times in the
I
past when we've just done it, and I don't remember.
that's
So
true.
sometimes I think I just black out when we record. It's like I'm present, but
We're
like,
having such a good time.
yeah, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm just like, yeah. So take it away, my friend.
I'm talking about the Langsuyar today.
What
Of
what be that?
it's a well vampire ghost woman.
Oh, we love a crossover.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, she is a ghost of a woman who died while pregnant or giving birth. It's not.
Oops. Okay. That
We're
sucks.
not. Yeah. So
Oh my word.
there's different forms. Um, she's the ghost of a child who has died or before birth, and they take form of a beautiful woman with long black hair that reaches their ankles.
Oh, it's you.
Although they may also take form of a floating woman's head,
Oh,
which entrails a spinning column hang, thus similar of like a witch. So we've got
okay.
a witch vampire like entity.
A mashup. I love mashups.
Yes. So the origin of this embodiment also goes to a night owl.
Oh,
Yes. So I got from a friend of mine. That's a lie. It's cousin Nathan.
cousin
Hi, cousin Nathan.
Nathan.
He sent me this really cool map of entities and creatures.
Oh, he sent this map to me too. We should share this on social. I meant to do that.
Yeah. And so I actually got the idea from this. And so this entity is from Singapore.
Oh, you know
I
what?
got the idea from this wonderful map.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, cousin Nathan. Snaps.
Thank you, cousin Nathan. So the origin, Langsuyar, whose embodiment is supposed to be that kind of a night owl, is described as being a woman of dazzling beauty who died from the shock of hearing that her child was stillborn and had taken the shape of a Pontiac. On hearing the
Was
terrible news, she clapped her hands and without further warning flew whining away into a tree.
What is a Pontignac? Is it a bird?
A ghost, it's different forms. The ghost of a child, a vampire, a night
Oh,
owl.
so it's like an oni in
Yeah.
Japanese culture where it's like a million different things. Okay, I see, I
Yeah.
see. Okay, okay. Got it.
Um, and she flew away into the tree and where she just perched and stayed. She may be known by her robe of green, by wearing her tapering nails of extraordinary length, and
Oh.
a mark of beauty, her long black hair.
She's like a baddie. Love it.
In order to conceal the hole in the back of her neck, which sucks the blood of children.
Oh
Yes,
shit. Okay.
these vampire-like entities of hers maybe, however, be the successful combatant of the rites are adopted into her body. So I think, or what I'm understanding, sorry,
That's okay.
I'm gonna stick one on my kid. No, I'm kidding. Where was I? I lost my place in my notes thanks to my child.
Something about the rights.
If you're able to catch her, cut her nails short and her hair short, and stuff them into the hole in her neck, she will become tame
That seems aggressive.
and an ordinary woman, remaining so for years to come.
Okay.
So it's
I
like, I don't know how to explain this other than like she was in extreme grief from losing her child. She became this entity. It's like a hole in her heart, but in her neck.
Dude, the fact that it's on the back of her neck, so she just
It's
like walks around
horrifying,
and
right?
fucking
And then
slams the
throws
back of her
herself.
neck on like what? I've been sitting here trying to picture the mechanics of that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how does that work? I, and then to listen, Singapore, are you guys okay? You're like right up there with Japan right now. What's going
Yeah.
on?
The Langsuyar is associated with certain trees,
Oh,
which grows
okay.
in dark green clusters and is said to be a common resting place. Woodcutters that harvest the wood from the poisonous Regan's trees in Malaysia must undertake elaborate exorcisms to counteract being haunted by the Langsuyars and other spirits.
That's like a lot of extra work for like just go find a different tree.
Maybe don't cut down those trees.
Yeah, like maybe just like
Maybe there's
leave
a reason
them.
why you shouldn't touch them.
Like
If you have
maybe
to
just
do that much work to harvest these trees, maybe
that's too
don't.
much. It's too much. Like just go find a different tree, dude.
Yeah. Lancashires are also associated with a nighthawk or owl, which is said to perch on the roof of the house while a pregnant mother or infant are being attacked by the vampire,
Oh, okay.
which is just terrifying.
Yeah, that's spooky.
In some
While she's walking
traditions,
around slamming the back of her neck on them.
right. In some
So,
traditions, the Lancashires take the form of a night bird, and it is believed that the hoot of an owl is the cry of the woman seeking her lost child,
hoot. No, that's
which I'm
sad.
never going to be able to hear an owl the same way again now.
No, we have owls all the time over here too. You
Yep.
know what? This is giving me a little bit of like banshee energy. We got a lot of these like woman figures. I love it.
Yeah. Um,
Yorona, you know?
yeah. Um, there is a charm against the Lancashire. It's like a
Oh,
poem.
good. Okay.
I'm not going to be able to pronounce some of these words, but most of them, yes, but some of them, no.
Okay. Disclaimer.
Langu, Langu, your beak is stumpy. Your feathers are cloth of silk. Your eyes are crab's eye, beans. Your heart is a young archia nut.
Sure.
Your blood thread in water, your veins the thread of binding on cockspurs, your
Okay.
bones twigs in the giant bamboo, your tail a fan from China. Descend, O venom, ascend nostra, Nostra, the venom in the bones. Nostras in the veins. Nostrens in the joints. Nostrens within the house. Nostrens in the jungle. Descendo venom, ascend nostrage, and lock up the Langsuyar. Descendo venom, ascend nostrar.
Nobody's gonna have time to recite this
It's
shit.
very long.
It's lengthy. You have that bitch coming at you with the back of her neck, and you think you're gonna spit all this shit out? Absolutely not.
Yeah. In 2013, villagers in the Pressure Put district, Malaysia, report sightings of the Langsuyar that was terrorizing the town. The residents
Oh,
described seeing a long-haired banshee flying and
oh.
cackling in the night, and claims of sightings spread to nearby villages. Local authorities urged villages to remain calm and pray together to repel the spirit. Rumors of the demonic appearance ended after a local shaman claimed to have captured 4 creatures. A local religious officer acknowledged the existence of the spirit, but cautioned against all talk of magic as it may be sacrilegious.
Okay.
I did not know there was such thing as a religious officer.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah.
And of course he's gonna be like, talk of anything but religion is sacrilegious. That's like his only job to say that.
Something that I find incredibly interesting and fascinating that it's just not very familiar in the US. These really badass female entities and folklore
Yeah, like I want to
legends.
get some of these baddies. Let's do it.
It's just, you don't mess with women, dude.
I mean, damn, like we've got like a million of them at this point. La Llorona, we have the Banshee, we have this bitch, we have that other one that you covered with there was a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
The one
several
from,
in Hawaii,
yeah,
right?
the lady I covered 2 weeks ago, the very large
With her boob scarves. Yeah, like I just feel
that
like,
carried children.
can we get one of these? I want
And
one.
so, bottom line was, she lost her child, and I think she was on the hunt for revenge of always seeking more children, but stealing them from other women, which was
The
terribly
one thing
unfortunate.
the one thing that bothers me about all this
The
though.
the the sucking venom out of her neck. Why?
Well, no, but it's just with all these figures, it's always about kids or like a
Yeah,
husband or like it's like, can we not give her maybe another reason to be pissed?
yeah. Can
Like,
we?
come on, there
There
are
has to
other
be
things
other
in life.
reasons. Yeah, there's
There's more
more things
substance
in
to
life.
women than just children and husbands.
Yeah.
So I just like, can we get like a little bit of that going in? But like, yeah, the hole on the neck, I'm still trying to figure out how the she's really. I mean, really, how are you actually attacking anybody with that? Because like your aim has to be spot on.
It's
Like,
reminding me of, like, I swear there was this gif, or maybe I'm just thinking of those noodle people at car dealerships are flying.
let's go with that. I love that one. Yeah, like she just like fall down on somebody who's like, ooh, gotcha with my neck. And then like the thing that kind of also grosses me out is like, okay, we have to defeat her by cutting her hair and her nails and shoving it in her neck, and then she'll become tame. It's like, dude, that seems like
It's a lot of work.
abrasive. Can we just like sit her down? Let's have a talking to. Let's like get her some therapy. Maybe that hole will close up. We'll call it a day. You know.
Yeah.
That's some rough stuff. That's a wild bitch. Thank you for covering her. I love her. Well
So
done. Good find.
I love
So
that there's
wait,
a witch, vampire, owl creature going on.
Singapore was like, why have one when we could have them all?
Multiple.
You
Let's
know what?
really
That's
amp it up.
efficient. That's great. I love it. And a roundabout thank you to cousin Nathan.
Yes, and a roundabout thank you to cousin Nathan. So thank you, cousin
Nice
Nathan.
research. Well done. I'm taking us somewhere entirely different. Not at all related to this. I am covering the hollow earth theory today.
Ooh.
This is from listener and has become called now honorary cousin Michael.
I love it.
Because we've
I
done many
accept it.
topics. Yes. The hollow earth theory it's in fact just as it sounds. It is a concept proposing that the planet Earth
Is hollow?
is entirely hollow or contains like this substantial interior space within it. What's interesting is since ancient times, the concept of like a subterranean land inside the earth has been present throughout mythology, folklore, legends, like whatever. The idea of subterranean realms, it seemed arguable and became intertwined with the concept of places of origin or afterlife, right? So I'm thinking about we got the underworld in Greece. In like Nordic legend, it's Svartalfheimr. Nailed that. Hell, Christian hell. Jewish Sheol, which describes the inner earth in a Kabbalistic literature, like the Zohar. There's also the idea of a subterranean realm mentioned in Tibetan Buddhist belief. According to one story from Tibetan Buddhist tradition, there's an ancient city called Shambhala,
Oh.
which is in fact located inside the earth. According to the Greeks, there's two caverns under the surface, which are entrances leading to the underworld, some of which were the caverns at the Tainaron in Laconia, at Trozen in Argolis, and there's like a bunch of different areas that's theorized that these could be. In Thracian and Dacian legends, it's said that there are caverns occupied by an ancient god called Zalmoxis. In the Mesopotamian religion, there's a story of a man who, after traveling through the darkness of a tunnel in the mountain of Mashu, enters a subterranean garden. And there's more. You can see it in Celtic like mythology, legend, whatever, Hindu mythology, Trobriand Islands, Native American stories. Like it's been around a long time, basically, this concept. Yeah. In more, I guess, slightly more modern times, there was a notion proposed by Athanasius Kircher in his nonfiction Mundus Subterraneus from 1665. And it speculates that there is an intricate system of like what he referred to as cavities and like a channel of water connecting the two poles of the earth. Then in 1692, Edmund Halley conjectures that the earth might actually consist of a hollow shell about 800 kilometers or like 500 miles thick. Two inner concentric shells and like an innermost core. And then there are atmospheres that separate these shells, and then each shell has its own magnetic poles, and the spheres rotate at different speeds. He proposed that this scheme, in order to explain like anomalous, like weird compass readings that we get sometimes on Earth, things like that. And he pictures like the atmosphere inside the Earth as luminous and possibly inhabited. And he says that escaping gas from this is what causes the aurora borealis, which is near and dear to my heart now because I actually got to see it.
Yeah.
In 1781, Leclerc Milfort led a journey with hundreds of Muskogee peoples to a series of caverns near the Red River, above the junction of the Mississippi River. According to Milfort, the original Muskogee people's ancestors are believed to have emerged out of this to the surface of Earth in ancient times, like from these caverns. He also claimed that the caverns they saw, quote, could easily contain 15,000 to 20,000 families. So according to this dude, it was big-ass caverns. Then, later, it's claimed that mathematician Leonard Euler proposes a single-shell hollow Earth with a small sun, about 1,000 kilometers across, at its center, which provides light and warmth for an inner Earth civilization. So, by the 19th century, this theory continues. 1818, we've got John Cleves Symes Jr., who suggests that the Earth consists of a hollow shell with openings about 1,400 miles across at both poles, with 4 inner shells open at the poles. He became the most famous of the early hollow Earth proponents. And in Hamilton, Ohio, there's a monument to him and his ideas.
Wow.
I want to go visit that shit. We should go visit that.
It's pretty close to you.
Yeah, we could do it. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Thank you. We could do it in a road trip. He proposed making an expedition to the North Pole theorized hole, thanks to the efforts of one of his followers, James McBride. Then, in 1829, somebody else, Sir John Leslie, proposes a hollow Earth of some similar format. Then Jules Verne, 1864, comes out with Journey to the Center of the Earth. And he describes this expedition, of course, as we know, into the Earth's interior via the fictional Icelandic volcano Skartaris. The protagonists do not actually reach the center, but nevertheless discover this subterranean ocean inhabited by creatures that they felt were, extinct previously. And then they escaped through another volcano on the Italian island of Stromboli. So, um, in William Fairfield Warren's book Paradise Found, The Cradle of the Human Race at the North Pole from 1885, he presents his belief that humanity actually originated on a continent in the Arctic. This continent was called supposedly Hyperborea. It influenced some of the Hollow Earth, like the early people, like the proponents of it. According to Marshall Gardner, another researcher, or I guess proponent of this, both of the Eskimo and Mongolian peoples, I guess I should say Inuit and Mongolian peoples, but regardless, they'd come from the interior of the Earth through an entrance at the North Pole. And then this even goes into the 20th century. Like, we've got something from 1906. William Reed writes Phantom of the Poles. There's a spiritualist writer, Walburga. Lady Paget, she writes in a book in 1907, mentions the Hollow Earth hypothesis, and she claims that cities exist beneath a desert, which is where the people of Atlantis moved to, according to her. And you can find an entrance to this subterranean kingdom, and it'll be, according to her, it would be discovered in the 21st century. In 1903, there was another book published about this. There's also this idea of concave hollow Earths. So basically, what it's saying is, instead of saying that humans live on the exterior surface of a hollow planet, also known as the convex hollow Earth hypothesis, it's actually said that humans live on the interior surface. And this has been called the concave hollow Earth hypothesis. So apparently we're all living inside the Earth. The Egyptian mathematician Mostafa Abdelkader wrote several scholarly papers working out a detailed mapping of the concave Earth model. There's even a book that came out in 1992 with somebody discussing the hollow Earth model articulated by this guy and saying that this hypothesis posits that light rays travel in circular paths and slow as they approach the center of the spherical star-filled cavern that we live in. And no energy can reach the center of the cavern. And he says that a drill would essentially, because of gravity and like all these crazy like physics, would essentially lengthen as it traveled away from the cavern and pass through the point at infinity, which corresponds to the center of the Earth. So it's some wild shit. So basically they're like, okay, everything's inside out and we're living inside the Earth, is what they're saying. It's like, okay, cool. So then there's, of course, we've got a bunch of stuff that proves all of this to be contrary. It's, as we know, this is not the case. There's something called the Schiehallion experiment. This was conducted actually in 1735. Very smart. So, well, kind of. Okay, so this guy, Pierre Bouguer and Charles-Marie de la Condamine, they chartered this expedition from France to the Chimborazo volcano in Ecuador. They went a long way. So they arrive, they climb the volcano, 1738, by the time they, I guess, get to this shit or whatever, and they conduct a vertical deflection experiment, so at two different altitudes. And basically they're trying to determine how local mass anomalies affect a gravitational pull. So then they write a paper 10 years later, and Pierre comments that his results at least falsify the concept of the hollow Earth theory. In 1772, so we're fast forwarding a little bit, Neville Maskelyne proposes to repeat the exact same experiment to the Royal Society. And they're like, okay, here's the green light, buddy. So that same year, the Committee of Attraction was formed. They send Charles Mason to find the perfect candidate for the vertical deflection experiment. He finds the Schiehallion Mountain, where the experiment takes place, and not only supports the earlier Chimborazo experiment, but yields far greater results, falsifying all of this hollow Earth shit. We can also look at seismic activity. So the picture of the structure of Earth that has been arrived at throughout the study of seismic waves is quite different from what we would see in a hollow Earth. And the time it takes for seismic waves to travel through and around Earth directly contradicts the idea of a hollow sphere. And the evidence essentially indicates that Earth is pretty much filled with solid rock, the mantle and crust. We've got liquid nickel-iron alloy as the outer core, and of course a nickel-iron solid inner core. And this is what we've come to know as it is. There's also, of course, the little thing of gravity.
Yeah.
Which is another set of scientific arguments against it. Or really any hollow planet. Massive objects tend to clump together gravitationally, which create non hollow spherical objects, such as stars and planets. This solid spheroid is the best way to minimize the gravitational potential energy of a rotating physical object. If we had hollowness, it would be considered unfavorable from an energetic sense. And so, in addition, ordinary matter isn't strong enough to support a hollow shape of planetary size against the force of gravity itself. It basically would like crush. And so, a planet sized hollow shell with like the known observed thickness of the Earth's crust would not be able to achieve hydrostatic equilibrium with its own mass, and it would basically like implode on itself.
Yeah.
There's also, of course, as we know, direct observation. Good old keen, let's just see it with our eyes. Drilling holes does not provide direct evidence against the hypothesis, it said. But the deepest hole drilled to date is the Kola Super Deep Borehole, with a true vertical drill depth of more than 7.5 miles or 12 kilometers. However, the distance supposedly to the center of the Earth is 4,000 miles, which we will never be able to drill to. But we can see down deep enough that, of course, there is nothing hollow there. And basically, that's what we've got. That's the hollow Earth theory. It was fun to read about.
I like it better than the flat Earth theory.
I like it a lot more than that. And it's pretty wild that it lasted. Like, it lasted so long. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, from ancient times through to, like, 1992, we had people putting shit out about this.
It's crazy.
Meanwhile, there were people in 17-something being like, no, and let me show you at the top of this
Let me show you
volcano
why.
why this isn't the case. But what I do also think is pretty interesting is how you can look at all these different cultures throughout time, and they all have some kind of a version of like a subterranean something,
Yeah.
which is pretty wild. So this was a ton of fun to research.
That was very interesting. Thank you for doing that. Thank you, listener Michael, cousin.
Thank you. Yes.
Equivalent.
Thank you, listener honorary cousin Michael. This was fun to research. It was fun to science this one. And I mean, I 100% don't believe it. I don't think there's a subterranean anything.
Yeah.
Do I believe in Atlantis? Yes, but I don't think it's underground.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Obviously Atlantis exists.
100% I believe in Atlantis. I think they're all wiped out.
Milo showed us. Living. Gosh.
Yeah, Milo showed us in that kick-ass movie. So, voiced by my husband, Michael J. Fox, I'm pretty sure. I think. I have a big crush on Michael J. Fox. Did I ever tell you
really?
That? I do. He's a little man, but I love him. I'm pretty positive.
Michael J. Fox.
There it is. Marty McFly himself. So, anyway, this was a blast of research. Thank you again for sending it in. And let us know what you think. But I think it's, we can safely debunk this, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a safe debunk there.
Pretty sure we're nice and solid through and through. Watch out for ladies with long hair and long nails and holes in the back of their neck. If you're in Singapore or Malaysia, in trees. And until next time,
stay strange.